Hello everyone. So in our previous video we discussed reflection of light due to which the image is formed by the plane mirror or spherical mirror, and we already discussed all of the cases in which spherical mirror form images. We also discussed mirror formula and magnification which is used to solve the numericals. So in today's topic we are going to learn about one more phenomena related to light, that is refraction of light. So watch the complete video, share it with your friends and subscribe the channel. As we already discussed in reflection of light, when a light moving in a one medium fall on a shiny surface, it bounces back in the same medium. But if a light move from one medium to another, then the actual path of ray is changed, and that phenomena is called refraction. So refraction is defined as the bending of light from its initial path when it moves from one medium to another. To illustrate that, if there is a boundary between two medium and a light moving from first medium entered in second medium, then the path of light will change according to these two mediums. So if this is the incident ray and this is the actual path of ray, now in the second medium refracted ray represent the final path of light. So when light moved from one medium to another, it deviated from its path. As we discussed the laws of reflection related to reflection of light, then refraction of light also guided by some laws. To illustrate that, we took an example in which an incident ray when enter from one medium to another, it bend towards normal in form of refracted ray. The angle between normal and incident is angle of incidence, and the angle between refracted light and normal known as angle of refraction. So the first law of refraction is same as the first law of reflection, which state that the incident ray, the refracted ray and the normal are lies in the same plane. So if one ray is in xy plane, then the refracted ray and normal must lie in xy plane. Then we have the second law of refraction, which is very important and known as Snell's law. This law states that the sine of angle of incidence is directly proportional to the sine of angle of refraction. So by removing the proportional sign, we introduce a constant nu which is called refractive index. So we get refractive index is the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction. So refractive index is the basic property of a medium due to which refraction of light occurs. So now we discuss about refractive index, which is also known as optical density of a medium. So in different book, the symbol of refractive index may also different. So you can take either of the symbol to represent the refractive index. Now as per the definition, the refractive index of a medium is basically the ratio of velocity of light in vacuum with velocity of light in that medium. So C represent the velocity of light, that is 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second, and V is the velocity of light in that medium whose refractive index we are going to measure. So if you observe that refractive index is inversely proportional to the velocity of light in that medium. It shows that higher the refractive index, slower the speed of light in that medium, and vice versa. Then we also observe that refractive index is basically the ratio of velocity of light. That's why it is a unit less. So refractive index is just a number. It doesn't have a unit. So by putting the value of velocity of light, we can find refractive index, or by putting the value of refractive index, we can find the velocity of light in that medium, because the value of C is always constant. The next term which we have to learn, that is relative refractive index. That is the refractive index of one medium with respect to another. As we know, when light moves from one medium to another, it deviates from its path, and according to Snell's law, it is given as sin I by sin R is equal to refractive index. But these two mediums have their own refractive index, that is C by V1 and C by V2. But in Snell's law, the used refractive index is not the refractive index of first or the second medium, it is their relative refractive index. So that refractive index of first with respect to second, and that is known as relative refractive index. So the refractive index of first with respect to second is mu2 by mu1. Similarly, when light moves from second to first medium, then the refractive index of 1 upon the refractive index of second medium. So if we apply Snell's law and relative refractive index on that particular case, we get sin I by sin R is equal to the refractive index of final medium upon the refractive index of first medium. So this is the actual form of Snell's law. Now if we put the value of refractive index in terms of velocity in these two cases, so we get C by V2 divided by C by V1 or V1 by V2. So the relative refractive index is in the reverse order of velocity as compared to the order of refractive index. Similarly, mu2 by mu1 is V2 by V1, which is also shows the inverse relation between refractive index and velocity of light. So in any case, when we are going to find the refractive index of one medium, so we have to check with respect to which medium we are going to calculate it. For example, if we want to calculate the refractive index of glass with respect to water, then it will be refractive index of water upon refractive index of glass. But when light moves from water to glass, so in that case the relative refractive index is refractive index of glass upon refractive index of water. So the relative refractive index is always depend the movement of light, in which we observe which medium is the initial medium and which medium is the final medium for propagation of light. So next we are going to discuss about the two types of medium which we observe in refraction of light. So one is called denser medium and another is called optical rarer medium. So these two medium is always identified with respect to each other. The medium which have higher refractive index compared to other is treated as optical denser medium, and the medium which have lower refractive index is treated as optical rarer medium. For example, when light moving from water to glass, then water is the rarer medium and glass is the denser medium. But when light moving from air to water, in that case water behave as denser medium and air behave as rarer medium. So the one medium can be behave as rarer as well as denser with respect to another medium. So in each and every case we have to focus on both the medium to identify which one is rarer and which one is denser. So now let's discuss the cases of refraction, that what is the condition behind the bending of light. So we have two different cases in which a light move from one medium to another. In first medium, the refractive index of first medium is smaller than the refractive index of second medium. So the first medium work as the rarer medium and the second medium behaving as a denser medium. In that case, the light bend towards the normal and the angle of incidence is greater than the angle of refraction. In second case, when a light move from first medium to second and the refractive index of first medium is greater than the refractive index of second medium, then the first medium behave as a denser medium and second medium behave as a rarer medium. In that case, light bend away from normal and angle of incidence is smaller than the angle of refraction. So always remember, when light move from rarer to denser, it move towards normal, and from denser to rarer, it move away normal. This is because the refractive index decrease the velocity. So higher the refractive index, lower the velocity, smaller the angle, and smaller the refractive index, higher the velocity and bigger the angle of refraction. So by using these two concepts, we can identify the bending of light in various devices. Now let's discuss the refraction of light in case of rectangular glass slab. So if we have a rectangular glass slab of thickness T and a light falling on the surface by making an angle of incidence small I, then due to its motion from air to glass, rarer to denser refraction is applied and light bend towards normal, and this is the refracted ray making an angle R. But from the second boundary, it moved from glass to air, so it bent away the normal and emerged out as an emergent ray by making an angle E, which is known as angle of emergence. So we have three angles: angle I, angle of incidence; angle R, angle of refraction; and angle E, angle of emergence, for the three rays: emergent ray, refracted ray and incident ray. Then if we observe, the final emergent ray is parallel to the initial incident ray. So the incident ray and emergent ray are parallel and moving in same direction but at different position. So the separation between these two paths is known as lateral shift. So lateral shift is the displacement between emergent ray and the incident ray when a light suffers refraction from a glass slab. That lateral shift is depend on various factors of the light, that is the angle of incidence, number 2 the nature of light, number 3 the thickness of glass slab, and number 4 the refractive index of glass slab. Then we can also relate these three angles in such a manner that these two angles found by light in air, so these two angles are approximately equal in ideal situations, and this angle is found by light in rarer medium, so angle R is smaller than angle I and it is also smaller than angle of emergence. So that's how we can compare the different angles with each other. Now let's discuss the refraction of light in case of glass prism. So glass prism is a refracting device having triangular base and made up of reflecting surfaces. So every prism have angle of prism which is fixed during the manufacturing, and if a light incident on a surface of glass prism, then due to rare to denser medium it bend towards the normal, and when it emerge out from the second surface it again diverge away the normal due to denser to rare medium. So when light move from rare to denser medium, it move towards the normal and makes angle of refraction, and when light move from denser to rare medium, it bend away the normal and makes an angle of emergence. Then there is another angle which we have to mention, because the initial path of light is this and the final path of emergent ray is this. So there is an angular shift between the incident ray and emergent ray, which we can obtain by extending the incident ray and by extending the emergent ray. So the angle by which incident ray shift is known as angle of deviation and represented by delta. So this angle of deviation is depend on various factors like the nature of light, the refractive index of glass prism, and the angle of prism. So in various cases the deflection of light is different for glass prism. Then same as glass slab, the angle of incidence is almost equal to angle of emergence, because both are forming in air by the same light, and angle of refraction is smaller than the angle of incidence and also smaller than the angle of emergence. So this relation is same in case of glass slab and in case of glass prism. I hope these topics clear to you, and if you have any doubt you can write in comment box or email us, and for more study material you can also visit our website newerasolution.in. Till then, study hard, subscribe the channel and share it with your friends. Thank you.